Today's a really big day because I thought I had just another doctor's appointment today and I got some really big news. So to back up, about a year and a half ago, I had these symptoms coming up, but I didn't think a big deal about it. The biggest thing though is that it seemed like clockwork. Every Monday, I felt like I was coming down with the flu, like that feeling right before you get the flu, where I had a tickle in the back of my throat and I just felt really, really achy and I just needed to lay down and rest. And it almost feels like if you can just rest, that it won't actually develop into the full-on flu. So I would do that and I would rest and not do a whole lot. And then by the weekend, I'd be feeling better, back to normal, thought I'm all good. I'd go out on the weekend, go out with my family, like to a pumpkin patch or a barbecue. It's not like I'm going out raging, but I would go do things on the weekend. And then on Monday again, I would feel like I had the flu. And I would run with my neighbor, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. And I had to cancel on her, and I started to see a pattern where I kept letting her down, even though I know she didn't really care, but I was just saying, I don't feel well enough. I think I'm getting sick. I think I'm iron deficient. And so my husband had recently gone to the doctor for lab work, and I always assumed that we couldn't afford to go to the doctor, but it wasn't that bad. So I thought, what the heck? I'm probably iron deficient, but let me just know for sure. So I did end up going to the doctor, and I kind of told her what was going on, and she prescribed like 50 tests. And she had asked me, have you been bit by a tick? And I said no. And we went through, and then I thought about it, and I came back and I said, well, I was bit by a tick once, about 10 years ago. And she said, okay, I just want to run a Lyme test to be sure, and insurance won't cover it unless there is a tick bite. So where was it? And I didn't know, I made it up. I said like my left thigh. And she ran it. About a week later, I don't have the results, and I thought it's been a while, I should have them now. And I call in, and they say your name, date of birth, blah, blah, blah. Here it is. Actually, it says that the nurse needs to call you and give you the results. So then the nurse calls back about a couple hours later. Your name, birthday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's your results. Actually, it says that the doctor needs to give you the results. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried. And then they call back and they say that actually you need to come into the office right now to get the results. We can't give them to you over the phone. So, of course, I'm thinking cancer. I had picked up my kids. My daughter just got off the school bus. I was getting groceries. I was doing the Walmart grocery pickup when I got the news, and I called my mom, and she was freaked out too, and I just got over to the doctor as quick as I can. And it took a long time. It was about 45 minutes in the waiting room alone with two cranky kids, and because I rushed out, I didn't have, iPads or snacks or any of that stuff. But because I had made the appointment and I was in there, I was able to get into my files on my chart online, and I could see the test results, and sure enough, I texted my husband and I said, it's Lyme. And I didn't really know what that meant. I knew in our neighborhood or our community, we live in Northern Virginia, a lot of people have Lyme, and for some people, it seems like a really big deal. We knew a girl, a neighbor, who had to take a year off. She graduated college. She got a job offer, but she couldn't take the job. And basically, healing was her full-time treatment. She had a PICC line, and we knew other people that they had Lyme, and it kind of was a big deal sometimes, and kind of wasn't a big deal other times. And they went along with their life, and then it wasn't a big deal at all. And so I really didn't know what it was other than that it came from ticks or what it did. But it felt really scary. And I went in and I saw the doctor, and she said, I'm going to give you 3 weeks of doxycycline. Take this. You should feel better. If you don't, come back and see me, and I'll refer you to a infectious disease doctor. So I did that, and I went home, and you start reading on the internet. And it's like there's a really fine line between, there's so much information on the internet. There's so much about Lyme disease. There's so much contradictory information. There's so much that says, don't touch antibiotics, you need herbs, you're herxing, you need to detox, you need this or that, this or that. It's like you need this like full medical degree to even figure out what to do, and none of this is CDC approved because the CDC is corrupt. Like it's just, you get on this rabbit hole and you don't know what to believe, and before you know it, you sound crazy. And at the same time that you're dealing with that, you're also accepting this diagnosis. Nobody plans this. Nobody has time to heal. Nobody has time for all this treatment. Nobody has money for this. I told you the reason I didn't go to the doctor in the first place is because I thought I couldn't afford it. It's just a lot to deal with. And I remember I didn't know what was good or not good, but I had gone out and I got Epsom salts and I got a tea blend that said it was for detoxing, and that was my detox. And I just sat there and I just think about sitting there on the sofa, just so naive, so uncomfortable, so just, if I knew the road that was ahead of me, I don't know if I could have done it because it was so much. And it was such a blessing that I didn't know. Anyways, not long after that, there was a night that I was just tired and I was in my bed, and my husband was so sweet, and he came in and he had said, you just need to come up, you just need to come out and have dinner with us. And I said, no, I don't want to, I'm really tired, I just want to stay here in bed. And he said, no, come on, just come out and have dinner. I went back and forth, and he laid in that bed with me for about 45 minutes trying to convince me to come out. And I eventually just blew up, and I said, you're not listening to me. You don't know what's best for me. I know what's best for me. I need to lay back here, and you need to respect that. And he stood up, and he said, fine. And he left the room, and he shut the door, and I was just so alone. It was what I asked for, and it was what I needed, and I don't blame him, but I just felt so alone and so vulnerable, and I didn't know how to do this. And along the way, I had told some other people, and I had kind of talked about it, and they didn't really believe me. I went back to my primary care doctor, and she didn't really believe me. And that was so hurtful. And I just really had to decide that no doctor can heal me, that I do know what's best for me. I will figure this out, and I have everything in me that I need to heal myself. And I eventually did find an internal medicine doctor who specialized in Lyme and had a really good track record, helped a lot of people, and just very much was on my side. It was the first doctor that ever really listened to me, that ever really believed what I was telling her, that took everything I said seriously. She prescribed 3 antibiotics on a pulsing schedule. So I was taking 3 antibiotics at a time for different time periods, pulsing, meaning I would take it one week, maybe it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then maybe it was like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, kind of like that, and then I would see her every 3 months and we would change it, and I would start to feel a little bit better, and I would just come crashing down again. I would feel vulnerable. I didn't share that with people. I think a lot of people didn't really know how sick I was. And people were telling me you're not on the right path. And you don't need to listen to this doctor, and you need to do this. And I just chose to trust nobody but myself. My biggest symptoms was something called POTS, P-O-T-S, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And basically, if I was laying down, I was fine. If I was walking or running, I was okay. But when I would stand up,